So a few weeks ago, we actually heard from CMB to collab on their latest campaign, which takes a very unique approach towards this fight against drugs. Okay. I'll explain it to you a little bit more, shortly. But right, to be a bit meta for the audience out there, this brief actually basically sparked a conversation amongst us, I think during lunchtime or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Then John brought up he bring up this thing about like liberalization of the world, then how it changed the way we see things out there, and whether like we are better or worse off for it.
Yeah.
So we thought that it'd be very interesting to have this conversation here.
And not about drugs.
No, drugs will come in somewhere. Okay? Yeah. The campaign is about uninfluencing. Okay, opposite of influencing. And
Thanks for that.
and basically, right, it's asking people to figure out whether they can exercise the ability to process information to decide whether it actually resonates with them or not.
Yeah.
Because now social media, right, with like all your feedback loops and this kind of nonsense, the moment you're trapped in like a rabbit hole, right, then that becomes like, in some ways, your reality already, you know what I mean?
One thing that I found very interesting, because like, of course, actually we're lifting the lead on quite a lot of things, right? When these briefs come in, we actually all get to see it first. And I think one thing that was very interesting to me was the target audience, because the whole purpose of this was to actually be quite a departure from other drug campaigns. Drug campaigns, usually you bring someone who's either someone's been convicted before, a former drug addict, to explain why this was the worst thing that ever happened to them, right? And that usually speaks to a lot of people who maybe thought of trying drugs, and if they were to answer a survey and say, do you want to try drugs, and say yes, like, okay, that speaks to them. But one thing that was very interesting is actually we're trying to speak to people who actually say no at these surveys, because what usually happens is that people who end up trying drugs don't actually think that they want to try drugs. They just happen to be in situations that you just go like, okay lah, why not? And so you don't actually realize it until you're in that moment, which is why the uninfluencing part is so important. It's, do you actually have that agency to decide for yourself? Or are you being actually somewhat uninfluenced by people not saying anything, by your environment? So that was what was very intriguing to me. And so actually John's segue on the whole idea of liberalization and actually does it change the way we see the world actually makes a lot of sense, because this speaks to how the whole world is changing and how we are making our decisions for our lives. So yes. This actually speaks to most of us, I would think.
Well said, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I think it's worth noting that like oftentimes whenever we sometimes do these collaborations, people don't actually see the brief and they don't actually know like sometimes the purpose behind it. And I thought it was actually quite useful for them to know why we're having this conversation.
This is the weirdest collaboration content we've ever done.
One of the conversations I was having with one of our colleagues, right, was about feelings. Like the first thing that came to mind for me, validating your feelings versus like being able to just say, no lah, like your feelings are not that important.
Yeah.
Are you going to bring up the fair stuff? Because no one's going to do it. You're gonna do it. Then we will continue. Bring up the fair stuff.
When do you be sensitive to somebody's feelings and just like constantly like, okay, let me validate how you feel. It's important to validate all that kind of thing. And then just let that snowball.
I think I'm good at validating people.
No, you are. You're so good at it.
You're too good at it.
No, but it's true. If they said that, like, okay, yeah.
You're such an enabler.
I don't know, but I don't know if it's detrimental. Because I feel like some people need to be hurt, right? And then there are people like John who are the like attack a bit, like, you know, attack your
Destroy you out a bit.
Yeah, like you are the call out person, then I'm the validator. So I feel like people do need.
Yeah, but why you never validate when I attack people?
Yeah, you never validate him.
You never validate me. Is my feelings not important to you?
Or you attack him instead?
No, I got sometimes try to, you know, argue with you a bit, but then you raise your voice, then I'll be like,
what nonsense?
Shit.
Then I feel like I don't want to talk to you.
I think you need to clarify what raise your voice means.
I feel like you're very strong in your conviction, like you truly believe your way is right. So nothing I say or do, right, will really change your mind.
That's not true.
Okay.
You see,
in my opinion.
so this one, right, is very hard. So in times like this, right, I just have to take it.
Please raise the voice.
Okay, that's fine.
In times like this, I just have to take it because it's just a difference of opinion. But at the end of the day, what if your argument is weak?
Yeah.
What if your argument is weak, but in your head, right, you have framed a picture that you have made up your mind with. You are very strong-willed. Nothing I can say will ever change your mind.
Yeah.
That's the way you see me. But what if your argument is just weak? But I don't get to call you out. That's exactly the point of this conversation, I think. Because I feel like in the past when your friend be like, hey, you gain weight, then irritating to hear. Then the second person, hey, you gain weight. Then irritating to hear. Then by the third one, you snap already, but then you start dieting.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But now you don't hear it. You know,
or you
like,
eat yourself to
because
death.
Because it gets labelled as like, oh, fat shaming, you can't talk about people's weight now, which I think is actually going down a very dangerous line.
I feel like to a certain extent, if I'm doing something about it and I know it, right, then I feel like don't call it out. But I feel like, for example, right, when you take a Grab and then that guy is telling you that, you know, it's the government's fault that he's poor, for example.
Yeah.
Or like he got certain policies wrong, completely off one. And it's not about, obviously I don't care how he votes, right? But he gets something completely wrong such that he can speak himself into an entire rage, that the whole world is just designed to destroy him.
Yeah.
And I feel like, which is the part do I enable? I can just say, life not easy. And then he continued talking himself into a rage.
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
I
no.
call him out. But
But his life, your life is intense though.
Yeah, no, but not really call him out in a sense, but helping understand actually it's not like that. You're seeing it kind of wrong, especially if it's wrong. If it's not wrong, then obviously I will just Yeah. So that is the part that really irks me, because now also like in a private conversation we have, there's a weird power dynamics. Then the cameras are here. Then I also don't want to be like, the boss that raises his voice whenever he feels like he's being challenged. So I'm like, then what do? I just keep quiet. I just like, Allah, you're right lah.
So you feel you cannot speak your mind?
I try to do it anyway, but I have to outweigh and see what is the point.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of battles I walk away from now.
So I actually didn't win a couple of...
No. You win. I tell you, bro.
But I definitely feel it too. And I feel like I catch myself sometimes being overly enabling, but for very, very selfish reasons, which is that in the past, right, I may have called out someone before, or I may play devil advocate. And then I suddenly feel them like distancing themselves from me already because I'm not enabling the kind of lifestyle they want. So like, I think a lot of us are now very attracted or like, we're attracted to echo chambers, right? We're attracted to just people that validate like how we feel. And that's the same for like social media as well. And I feel like whenever we hear someone say something we don't want to hear, suddenly like, okay lah, I just don't hang out with them so often. It could be subconscious, but I feel like that happens. And so now I feel like I just agree with everything so that I don't lose my friends. The other aspect that I feel this is very pertinent is actually in the parenting world, because there are so many different parenting styles, right? And in the end, a lot of what parents adopt is just, okay lah, you parent your style, I parent my style. Everything is acceptable because we know how difficult.
Yeah, they're quite real, right? Actually, because in the past, you get one of those, you shouldn't let them watch TV. Then it's very irritating. It's like, you don't know my life.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, like that kind of wisdom slowly get passed down. That you like, no, it's okay because I blah blah blah. I know how to manage. But deep down, you'll be affected, right? Yeah. Then deep down, the next time your child grabs a phone, right, you're like, we'll cut that time in half. Maybe for example, right? Which is like net product good for child lah.
Okay, everything is always in two camps, right? But the two biggest camps is really the you do you parents or the I'm going to impose my way to everybody camp. And this, right, can be on opposite spectrums also.
Still have, man. This one, I don't see this anymore.
Have a lot. And the most pertinent one, right, is if you look at parenting content creators, whenever they say something fairly divisive, right, the comment section is just full on debate. And they won't even be talking about the content anymore. It could just be one small thing, right? And then someone will just say, no, this is completely the wrong advice. And then other people will be like, just leave her alone. And then someone else say, no, actually don't leave her alone. But the advice that person said is also wrong. Then they just like everyone is just fighting. It's so difficult. At the end of the day, right, you can type, you can like feel like, oh my god, I want to say all these things. And then the easiest thing to do is just go, never mind lah.
No, so I've actually personally felt like over the last maybe like 4 or 5 years, right? I don't know whether it's TikTok or what, or you grow in a different way, right? But I feel like you adopted a very strong you do you attitude.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh,
I got challenge you sometimes.
Sorry, she raised her voice. I apologize on her behalf.
No, like sometimes you say a movie sucks, then I'm like, why? I won't be like you do you.
No, I feel like you don't challenge yourself. You only tell you to you do you.
I don't know whether it's because I'm older now, so people around me don't really have much things to fight about. Versus like, let's say in my 20s, right? Like when I was 18, my friend stole something for the first time. Then when I saw her steal something, I didn't say anything because I wasn't close to her. Like I don't know whether to call her out because we could get in trouble. So I just like carry on with the day. Then like a few months later, we were overseas. We went shopping. And then when we went back to the hotel, right, we decided to like, let's share our loots. Then she pour
real ones, her loots.
Like we wanted like girl time. Then like, I bought this. Then she pour like a bag of like jewelry. Okay, it's not the expensive kind, the fake ass jewelry on the bed. Let's call her Jane. Like, Jane, what the hell? Then she like, look at this, so nice, right? Then I'm like, where do you bought all these things? Because we were quite broke, thinking where she get the money. Then she said, no, I just take. Before I call her out, right, I always think I must find the reasoning first. The John stole the bread because he very hungry. Then I asked her like why she do this thing. Then she said, because it's very fun and exciting. Then in that moment I like, I need to call her out because she said it's fun and exciting to steal and she's quite close to me. I don't want her to like go down the wrong road. So I told her like, Jane, I'm telling you this because you're my friend, okay? Like I'm not like scolding you or anything, but I feel like you don't know the consequences of your actions, so I need to tell you this.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I give her this whole like pep talk, right? About how does this affect her and her family and friends.
Wow.
Like I tell her, wow.
How does it affect her friends?
we are overseas together. So if she gets in trouble,
okay,
right, I have to
Ruin
go
your
save
trip.
her
Okay.
from the police station. I don't know how to get her home. Like, what if she's like, because we are overseas, it's quite dangerous. Like, I don't know the legal system in the area, right? And then like, because we are on a kind of like coming back from a school trip, right? It will affect like maybe her grades or like standard at school, and then we are all like complicit. You have to give like, I'm a witness in this situation, and then it will affect her family because they'll feel very disappointed. Like, why she do this kind of thing?
Yeah.
And then I told her like, honestly, what you do after this is your choice. Like, I just need to let you know what are the consequences so you don't do this again. Then after a 3-hour talk, she say, okay, Alison, I think I will never steal again.
Wow.
Then I was like, that's right. You this sorry. I said, that's right. Sorry. I said, that's right, Jane. You shouldn't do this. Then after that, she does steal. But see, I never say you do.
No,
you
but it's so good of her to take it that well.
Yeah.
No, I think because we are closer, so I think she accepts this speech I'm gonna give her.
Yeah.
But you noticed this pattern before that already?
Yes, and I didn't
So-
say anything. That's why, because I thought
What
like
was holding you back from saying something
Back then, yeah.
back before? Yeah.
I think the first time when she did it, right, I felt like we are not so close. Like, I'm not that close. I don't know how to call her out without sounding like a bitch. Like, obviously,
No,
I would
completely
think
right.
like,
I probably wouldn't know how to do that also.
and she's still already, and we are like quite far away from whatever place. Like, what do I want her to do? Go back, man, and like admit, and then we all get in trouble for this.
But I also feel like that conversation has a lot of legs to go sideways. Okay lah, stop this lah. You think I don't know the consequences? You think I don't know I can go to jail?
Yeah.
Okay, relax. I didn't get caught. Okay, enough.
Yeah.
You know that kind of don't preach to me.
Yeah.
I got get caught, meh? You know,
Hello.
that kind of
That's
thing.
why I wait for the third time. I think the third time, right, is where I had the courage to ask her why.
Right.
Because the first one, I just haha.
Maybe this whole time she was stealing to impress you.
Yeah, because you haha.
No.
Yeah.
This sort
But
of-
did you talk to your other friends about it? Like, are you all on the same page
I
of
did.
like,
Actually, I made a joke about it. Like, hey, Jane got stealing problem. Like, in my head, I'm like, hey, how are Jane got stealing problem? No, because
As in, but the whole clique knows lah.
because people who went and
Okay.
because
Yeah.
right, actually she never say she steal. Is I noticed, why got something new on her wrist?
Right.
Like I said, what's that, Jane? Then she like, I take just now. Then I was like, huh, you take? Then she like, yeah. Then I just like, okay. But I
Damn,
know
Jane's
that
out of control.
Hey, but she's really good at it.
she damn good.
What the?
So I also told her
Sleight of
during the confrontation, Jane, next time you want to go shopping, right? I go with you to the changing room because I know the changing room is where you get the thoughts of putting it in your bag.
Oh my gosh, it's a literal addiction. Yeah.
She know it's wrong, right? But she think damn exciting when she go to the changing room. She tell me.
I super respect that because I don't think I could. Like,
Call someone out.
at some point in my life, I went on a trip, and it's not those meet very often friends. It's those meet once every 2 years, but the relationship is there kind of friends, right? We take turns to drive because it's like 2-3 hours per way, and then the friend say, "Hey, I bought gummy. You want?" So then the gummy is the weed guy lah.
Yeah.
Sorry, what you call it?
Laced.
What do you
Big
call it?
gummy bear.
Edibles. Yeah. Edibles. Yeah. So
I had to search this up, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Never hear.
So
Why you lick
they
your
managed to get edibles, and then he said, "You want or not?" Then I said, "Oh, I don't want." And then he just popped 2, and then he drive.
Huh?
He's a driver.
No, but the thing is that I've known that when he's overseas, he got microdose. And he is fine. Honestly, he just laughs a little bit more.
Okay.
Unwinds lah. As you also know that in that sense, while marijuana is banned in Singapore, it's many people overseas take it recreationally. You don't lose control of yourself in that sense, or rather to my understanding, right? And so when he did that, then I was driving, I feel like the you do you went too far.
No, but in that situation very hard because he's driving ma. What if you have an intervention then later I don't know.
No, I
You
don't
can
think
stop him
you're
like before he take.
Because
Like
he,
before
can,
he take.
he can take first and then there's a step before taking, then going to the front seat and then like.
But
Yeah,
the
yeah.
second between the like you want and then put in the mouth like 1 second ma. So you
You slap it out of his hand.
No, I could have. I thought it, like in my head, I could have stopped it.
yeah.
like
No, why
stop
you cannot just drive?
But I just ended a shift. No, as in, when it's your turn to drive, you want to pop drugs, then I take your shift.
yeah. The point here is
Why are
that
we prioritizing you popping drugs?
you didn't find it in you to call him out when your life was literally in his hands.
No, because okay, to be honest, in my head, it'll probably be fine.
Yeah.
Because at this point, because it's not like I've experimented in drugs. I know how exactly it feels, such that I know it's not dangerous, right?
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know what it is. It just looks fine. Like Joe Rogan smokes weed all the time. Then he's like, probably it's fine. I don't know.
No, plus, like, I feel, and it actually goes back to what John Paul mentioned at the start, like this whole liberalization thing, right? It almost feels weird to call someone out for not wanting to try drugs. It feels
I felt like I will ruin the trip because I'm younger than them. So that person knows more like, in that sense. So when I'm younger than that person, I feel like to me saying this and you have to climb on my high horse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I feel like it will just throw off the whole trip.
Do you think that globally, like other liberal culture and countries out there, right, do you think that they have kind of like affected our view towards like drug abuse?
For sure, I think so. Like it's gotten to a point where the most you can say is I won't take it. But you cannot stop the whole group from doing it and you just have to follow them along.
Like you and a group of friends go to like Bangkok or whatever, then
Yeah, I think it's mostly like maybe two things. One is like maybe media, but I don't want to overplay the media part. I think a lot of it also could be because we have friends or even myself, like we've lived overseas and we lived like how liberal life could be. Then I think that's where we adopt a lot of that like liberal culture, like when it comes to like drug usage. Yeah, because it is quite accessible when you're outside of Singapore, whether or not it's legal there or not.
I think it's also the progress of this certain EQ that we've made, that everyone's at a different stage of their life and you could be excelling in this for now and on the surface I might look unsuccessful to you, but I'm excelling in this other thing that you don't see. And so I feel like that has the success of the EQ education has gotten to the point whereby no one feels like they have moral authority over another person anymore.
But I feel like because they're so liberal, right, in other countries, it makes me more de-influenced.
Ooh, uninfluenced almost.
Uninfluenced to even think about it or try it. Like the more I'm influenced, that is bad. Like when I see them, because Singapore nobody try, so you don't see anything. So when you go overseas or like you see media or like movies about people in other countries trying, right, it's like never a good experience. It always like up in the end. Like, have you watched Requiem for a Dream? That movie scared the shit out of me. I'll never take drugs in my life. I tell you, after that movie.
Oh, it's a drug movie. I would never
be the
guess from
CMB
the title.
campaign.
No, I
It's a
swear,
horror
they
movie.
should show this show to all schools. No, because, okay, but it's M18. When I watched the show, I legit fear for my life. After the credits, when the credits play, right, I sat there for like 2 minutes. I was like,
Never touching drugs.
Then one more
no, it's not scary movie. It's just so intense, right, that I felt that drugs is the worst shit that can ever happen. You know, there's a lot of shows like, for example, Euphoria, that kind like cater to youths, but then they still add a bit of drugs inside the movies, right? I never found it cool at all. Like, lame.
No, but you see, I think that's the thing. Like, so when it came to media, right, like sometimes the drug usage, the people that are using it are portrayed as maybe like slightly worse off. They're not successful in school or at work and whatnot. Right? But I think the opposite is happening. I think, I don't know about you guys, but I'm starting to know more and more people who've maybe dabbled in drugs or like take drugs that are actually highly successful people. They are highly like functioning, they're completely fine and they haven't do it. And I think that is where it's a little bit dangerous because they're no longer the bad examples. So I think these are the overlooked negative influences that we're not actually seeing.
Yeah, because I don't think it's about the cool factor also. It's more of, it's so normalized that if you say you want to do it, I won't bat an eyelid. Then you do it because it's normalized to me. But I don't think you are cooler as a result. It's just you want to do, you go and do. It's normal now. Then when you do, then I see you do, then you tell me, hey, shook you want to try? Then it's like, I don't want to be cool. It's just like, really, shook up. You know what I mean?
Are you curious?
I feel like the online space is also very distorted. It's a very distorted view of reality. Like you talk about these people who are more successful and whatever and trying these things, right? They also have a lot of safety nets in life.
Yeah.
Like they are not the people that maybe cannot comprehend certain things or if they end up getting addicted, they don't have the resources or whatever to get themselves out. So like, and the distortion can come in like other ways also. Like you see those people that are constantly doing mukbangs and all that, but then behind the scenes they are like puking the food out or they are not actually swallowing. Like it's not even real. So then what is the message that they're just trying to send? So similar to like this whole liberalization and like when it comes to drug abuse, it also feels like there's a bunch of stuff that we also don't see. Yeah, like because why would they promote those things? I actually had a recent experience that I think will encourage you to call it out more. I was parked in my car park late at night and then I was texting lah. It was a heavy conversation happening. Okay. So I'm sitting in my car, aircon on. no, not that kind of heavy. Yeah, the engine was running. So then this random person walked up to me, then just stand in front of my car and then just stare at me. Then I was like, after a while, I look up there like, why this person here? Then stare already. And then suddenly start walking towards me. Then I'm like, what's going on? So I didn't think I was doing anything wrong, right?
Yeah.
So I just opened the window, hey bro, what's up? Then he like,
Hey, bro.
you are parked here, right? Are you going to turn off your engine? Then I'm like, huh? Why? Then he said, you shouldn't leave the engine running and stay parked here, and that kind of thing. Then I was like, okay, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to finish up and then I'll go up very soon. Then I close the window, he go away. Then I'm there for like about 5 more minutes, right?
Yeah.
Then at the corner of my eye, I see him standing there again. He come back and stand in the middle of the road and just stare at me.
Wait, but it's not like a security guy, it's just a member of public.
Random dude.
Right.
Absolutely random dude. He now walks to my window again. And so like, he want to engage again. So I wind down my window. You're still here. Turn off your engine.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, what the why so aggressive, bro?
But then he told you nicely the first time.
No, but I didn't understand why to begin with. Okay. So after that, right, then I say, oh, okay. But in my head, I don't care lah, right?
Yeah.
So I just close I tell him, okay, I'm going up soon anyway. Then I just close the window. Then he walk. Then he just stay there and wait. I'm not interested in an altercation or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just off my engine. Then off already. Then he walks away. Then after that, I faster Google like, why I cannot. Is it wrong to leave my engine on? Turns out it's bad for the environment. It's bad for your car. It's also illegal. You can get fined for it. After I walk away from that whole situation, right? Then I realized that like, actually I learned something. No, before that I did not know any of this. I didn't know that it's bad for the car. I didn't know that it's bad for the environment. All that. So I will occasionally sometimes, after you reach back and you want to.
No, then why you even
unwind, right?
agree?
What
If
do you
you
mean?
didn't know it was bad for anybody, I mean, you are releasing carbon monoxide in the air, like that's what's going on, and you're wasting precious fuel, which is non-renewable, right?
Correct.
Yeah. No, but beyond that, why you even agree if you didn't know you were doing that? It's like I'm paying for my own gas. What's it
Because
to you?
I don't want any problem.
Altercation.
I don't want any problem. And I also
That's
don't know
where we
whether.
differ.
And I don't know whether I'm right or wrong
What's
yet.
this to you?
No, and I don't know whether I'm right or wrong yet, right? But because of this situation, I learned these new things.
Yeah.
So now I stop. Every time I park already, I will just wind down window off the engine, whatever, and then whatever lah.
Okay, EV.
Yeah, and if I were to come across this person again, right, I honestly would thank the person. Yeah. I
Then
would
you're
thank him
enable
because
him
I
to
learned
scold more
something.
people.
But he won't show up unless you leave the
No,
engine
the
on.
only part right that I felt was wrong is that he was too aggressive in his approach and like very controlling of the situation. That's the only part that I
No, because
was not
I feel
happy
like
with
his ego come into play. He don't want to be played by you because he already made the first step. The first step to stand in front of your car and put himself as a target. And then after he went to speak to you, and then you say, okay, now if he still can see you and he see that you agree but you never do, right? Well, that bruises his ego. The second part he come back is very little about the environment already.
Yeah. For
The
sure.
second part he come back is about you say already, then why you never do?
Yeah.
Which I feel like that was what could ruin things.
But right, the only part that's scary is that right, he lucky I got self-control. Because I was like, once again, right, I'm in a very intense conversation, right? Half of me wanted to get out of the car and maul him. Like,
Yeah. And you
but,
could have.
But I really I just tahan because I just don't want to
Yeah.
confront all that thing.
No, but let this be a lesson also, in a sense. Like when you go and tell people nicely what you hope that they do, you don't know what they are going through right now. So
No, for sure.
Yeah, you don't know when you go and tell them to turn off your engine, whatnot. That guy might be dealing with the death of his father. Yeah. Just because your ego, you Captain Planet, right? You want to off the engine now means now cannot give people 5 minutes to grieve.
Him calling it out was right. I learned something from it.
Yeah.
But the way he do it and how he imposed himself after was wrong lah.
Which is why the approach matters so much. Like you mentioned, like there were 3 things, right? One was that it was bad for the car, one was it bad for the environment, but also it's illegal, so you could get fined. And I think that's how we need to approach people when we also like call things out. Are we coming from us point of view, the caller out, like because we want to feel good that we call something out, or do we come from the point of view of the person that we're trying to call out? Because at the end of the day, it should be about them. So like I think whether it's drugs, whether it's leaving the engine on, it's making them feel like, okay, there is a benefit here of why I'm calling this out. If he told you, hey dude, it's illegal, you can get fined, you immediately would have said, oh yeah, shit, okay, then you would straight away turn off the engine. And I think that really helps to help us
EQ,
navigate
that one EQ.
the approach lah. Because this feels like he just wanted to feel good about like calling someone out.
I want to say during my trip, I subsequently did. And I think it took me a while to find that balance. And he was about to pop. I just, can you not?
Oh,
that was what I do.
but
Can you not? I want to sleep in peace, that kind.
was that like a by the way thing, or did you actually think so long? How can I approach this?
I mean, the first time or 2 times maybe,
Right.
I just let it slide, to be honest. Because, I mean, they were biting half and whatnot. So, it's like already one gummy bear. The gummy bear is mostly sugar, probably. I don't know. Then they were already biting half. Yeah. Maybe I think second, third time already. Then I think it was dark. So I said, can you not? I want to sleep.
Then he said, okay.
and did they listen?
I think it was because it was chill. It's in a sense, bro, can you turn off the engine? If not, you'll get fined.
Yeah.
I think it was the energy.
Yeah.
I think if I went down your route, right,
Yeah.
especially guy versus guy, and that
Right.
person, someone has a older than me authority, right? I want to tell you the consequences of your action because I care about you, right? We have ruined the entire dream.
You must know the audience.
Yeah.
I
You gotta know
catered to
your
her.
crowd. You gotta know your crowd.
Like
I tell you, this you do you is so pervasive now, right? That I was with my godchildren over the weekend, and then for some reason, right, my goddaughter, she likes to wear the shorts that we bought for her like years ago. So it was very short on her, and she's growing. She's very tall already. I mean, she's too young to want to try to be slutty. It's just comfortable to her.
Right.
But it's like, at this point, it's like, we tell her your shorts is too short. You know? Then I'm immediately reminded of my secondary school, like the teachers that will go and teach you roll up your skirt.
Yeah.
Then I was just like, your shorts is too short. Then I'm like, in my head, right, I'm like, you do you, lor. You know? Then I'm letting that little kid, right, look like a young hooker. You know what I mean or not? Because the shorts is so tight. It's just small.
But if I'm you, I also don't know what to say.
Right? Because someone is like, I'm not your father. Then we are close lah. We are family, but it's like, I'm not father, not brother. So it's like, then you watch her, then she's starting to dress in a way that is like weird already. Like if I'm a pedo, like prime. She looks prime in front of me. You see, I cannot say. I cannot just speak my mind.
No, I cannot give reaction.
Cannot right?
No, but why don't you tell your sister?
Yeah.
We say in front of them. The parents say you want to buy clothes, we must throw away your old clothes.
Okay lah, don't buy new clothes.
No, but she will want to buy things. Right? As a kid, you always want new things.
So
like, okay, you want this one?
Yeah.
Can. Then we have to throw that one.
Motivate.
You're teaching them the wrong things, but you're getting the right results.
No, but some people I feel like they call right with not the right intention.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like-
what intention would they have then?
No, like just want to comment and make it funny or like
Right.
there's no like thought behind like whether I say this thing the person like I think about this person's health. Like got one time like I was with a group of friends, then I bump into another friend, right? Then he just say like, hey Alison, you.
Oh my
Then I was
days.
like, what the
Yeah.
No, actually he very fat like my face. Hey you like.
He never say words though. You are
Then I
interpreting.
was so hurt like because it's the first thing he said to me. Like I said hello, oh my god.
Yeah.
And then the first thing he said, hey you. Then I just like them thrown off. Then somehow I was with my friends in a public space. Then after that I never talked to this person.
No, rightly so lah. I think rightly so. There needs to be
I
a
was so
tag.
angry.
So here's where I got it, right? Not that I do it. Okay, I don't think I do it. But I want to say these things are good for you. Because you are still thinking about it now. Every time you fight that temptation when you, after dinner, right? Then you walk past, then you go and want to buy the froyo, right? You think about that guy, then you're like, this asshole.
No,
Then,
He took one
No,
for the
I
you
team.
won't
don't.
buy the froyo, but the point is that
When I
if
think
it's
of
like, Alison,
asshole
you look
people-
great, you're gonna eat the froyo, you know what I mean?
I think he also brought up something about how like we are in our 30s looking back, and then because of that, right, when I think there were a lot of opportunities and moments in our 20s where if we had been able to discern and understand this and call our friends out or even ourselves out earlier on, right, it's not so bad. But the damage that it kind of does over a long period of time, because your 20s are very formative years of your life also, right? Then it feels like that one does a lot of, like it does more harm in the long term if you don't call it out earlier on. Like now you say in our 30s, we call all kind of like get it together already, right? But for those that didn't in their 20s.
I think it doesn't need to be fixed and addressed.
Yeah.
I think the fact that you all have the culture of being able to say, I don't think you should, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, bro, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I think, right, enough.
Yeah.
Then next time they're on it again, be like, dude, you're still on it.
Yeah.
Enough.
That's how I think guys operate. Like
Yeah.
it needs to be at that level where, okay, when you're really doing it at home, then you're thinking, this guy's actually said this.
To leave people space to do it on their own terms. But and I'm okay. I personally feel like I'm okay with that. Yeah. What I'm not okay with is that we don't even point shit out anymore.
The problem isn't just that people are not calling it out enough. I think the root of the problem is that we're not in a society that can hear it. You know, we are in a position where every time someone says it, we go into defensive mode or we go into attack mode or we go into I'm not listening to you anymore mode. We're not ready to receive a call out. And I think that's what needs to change because people don't want to call out because we are afraid that the person doesn't want to receive it. Same to you with the engine thing.
Yeah. So right, I quickly search up this ChatGPT framework.
Great.
Okay.
It's ChatGPT generated, so it's not the Bible. This framework is to try and guide people on deciding when to speak up.
Yeah.
When is it appropriate to speak up? Okay.
Yes.
So they have like a quick 5 one. Okay. The first one is the person in danger?
It could be.
No,
maybe.
fair question, right?
Yeah.
Is the
Obesity
person
is
in
a
danger?
risk.
Yeah.
The second one is are they hurting others?
Okay.
Whether intentionally or unintentionally, or maybe about to hurt somebody else. Okay.
Drugs could do that.
Like physically or emotionally.
Have they asked for help? That means you are deciding when to speak up to this person.
I
Is when
see.
they ask for help. So for example, if let's say
they
you're
say
struggling with weight,
advice,
right?
please,
Then you might have made a comment like, I'm finding very difficult to lose weight or to diet or what, right? Then that person may think of like, okay, since you have already asked, there's an opening for me to, okay, maybe I can speak up on this.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay, last one is, are you stepping in for them or for yourself?
That's the key one.
That is the key one.
Okay, so thanks for watching. If you want to find out more about CMB's campaign, you can check out the links in the description box below. If not, we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye.
I feel like I've been going down a wrong route and no one's calling me out. So
The
like
card games,
no, let's be honest. Like the whole Pokemon
tried.
thing, right, is an addiction and like it's a huge problem. But I think like because no one really understands it or sees it in that light, right? I mean, people roughly know, okay, this is an addiction, but they don't know how dangerous it is. Like no one ends up going, hey, I think you should really stop, man, or like no one, everyone just laughs or goes like, hey, I also want, you know.
But I'm happy for you though. Like when I see a man with a hobby, I'm just happy for them. Because I
And
went
it's
my
so
whole
cute
life.
that Ned also
Yeah,
together
plus
with you.
Ned also like.
So I think there are a lot of good things about it, which is that I think Ned and I are connecting on a whole new way. Like before this, it was just we watch Netflix together, but it's very passive. But now we get to collect together, we get to play against each other.
Yeah.
I used to be someone who's very frugal. Like even like a $10 thing, I would rather find Taobao the $5 version. Now I'm just like spending, and so I think that's something that I needed to catch myself. And it took me like 2 months. It took me another addiction actually. It took me Magic the Gathering addiction to stop my Pokemon addiction. And Magic the Gathering is a lot more controllable lah.
Is it?
Yeah. I think lah. Maybe I'm also into it as well. Oh no.
You're only spending 7K a month.